Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Tara Arnold and happy Valentine's Day. So for Valentine's Day, we're going to be doing two different readings, one for couples or people in a relationship and one for singles or people not in a relationship. So I'm going to be posting those two separate. And before we begin, I want to say if you'd like to enter a Valentine's Day contest to win something, head over onto my Instagram. I'll leave the handle in the description below. And thanks for watching. Have a great night. Have a great Valentine's Day. You're all beautiful. You're all worthy of being loved, and give that love to yourself. Okay, so this rune reading is for couples, and we're going to connect with Ascended Master St.Germain and the collective's energy for whoever's watching this that is in a relationship. Okay, so in this rune reading for couples or people in a relationship, only 5 of the runes flipped over. So those are the ones we read. We don't read the ones that are upside down. So the star is what we're going to start with. And the star is saying, go after what you want, let go of your fears to be yourself and accept yourself for who you are. And that's going to set you free. So it's finding that freedom within yourself. And he's showing me that in relationships, there's some couples that are still seeking that love outside of themselves. So they're still expecting their partner to behave a certain way or do something for them so that they'll know that they're loved. So they're seeking this validation outside of themselves for this love to reflect back to them, but they're not going to receive that love until they give that love to themselves. So going in and finding out what your inner child wants, what your inner child needs, and what your higher self desires to be here on planet Earth, instead of acting a certain way to please somebody else so that they'll love you. So it's really finding out from your higher self or your spirit why you're here and what you came to do, to play, and finding that love within yourself, and then that will reflect back to you from your partner. But you're not going to receive that love if you're still seeking it outside of yourself. So he's showing me like maybe some people expected a certain Valentine's Day gift, or expected they're supposed to act a certain way on Valentine's Day to show them that they're loved, or any day, every day, and they're still not feeling satisfied. So he's saying to go in and find that love within yourself, and then it'll reflect back to you in that partner. But if you're trying to find it in that partner first, you're never going to find it, because the egoic consciousness is never going to let you feel satisfied. But when you go in and connect with your heart, that Christ consciousness within you, you'll find that love that you're seeking, and you won't need validation outside of yourself. You won't need to seek that love outside yourself. You won't need to have your partner show you that you're worthy of being loved, because you'll have that love within yourself, and then that opens more space and it raises your vibrational frequency, and then your partner's going to start giving you more respect, more love. So however you treat yourself or how much love you give to your inner child, it's going to reflect back to you in that partner. But he's saying that there's a lot of people still seeking it from the partner, and it's time to go in and give that love to yourself. And then that's going to grow and strengthen the relationship. And there's the third eye rune right next to it, and that's saying to tap into your intuition, find out what your desires are and who you want to be here on planet Earth, where you want to play, and not worry about what your partner thinks. So there's some people in relationships that are trying to be a certain way so that their partner will love them, but they're not being their true authentic self. And he's saying when your true authentic self, when you go in and connect with your intuition and your higher self and your inner child, and you find out what you really want and the way that you want to be, and then you show that to the world, you're going to have everyone love you, or it's not going to be so difficult. Because right now, if you're being not true to who you are, then that's going to reflect back to you. So he's saying, just find your truth, seek your truth, and not worry about what other people think. So if you say, well, if I act this way, then my partner won't love me, but then you're not being your true, authentic self, then you're never going to find that love. You're never going to feel satisfied. So really going in and working with your higher self and finding out what your needs are, what your desires are, because he's showing me there's a lot of couples that they're so worried about their partner that they're forgetting about themselves. So that, like, maybe a husband is doing a lot for his wife, or a wife's doing a lot for the husband to try to please them so that they'll reflect that love back to them. So if I please this partner, then they're gonna love me more. And that's where it's right now with the spiritual awakening, it's coming to the surface that you can't find that love within another person. You have to find it within yourself. And there's a lot of men and women that are awakening right now, and this moon symbol over here beside the star is connecting to your feminine energies. And there's going to be a lot of males, so whether you're in a relationship that's 2 males or 2 females, there's a lot of feminine energy coming in and connecting with that to have a more equal balance of the yin and yang. So for those people that are in a relationship of male and female, then you might notice that your male partner is having more sensitivities, they're having more feminine energies coming in that they're not comfortable with. And they're wanting to show like their creations or their who they are, but they're afraid to show that feminine side. So helping them by not judging them for it. So if you have a male partner, it could be like 2 males together or a male and female, and you notice that the male partner is becoming more sensitive or more like feminine balance, that's a good thing. So it's like really encouraging them with tapping into those frequencies, because then they're going to create more. So if you're finding that your male partner is becoming more sensitive or is taking up a new hobby that seems feminine, really encourage it and support it and not judge it, because everyone's awakening to have a balance, an equal balance of the yin and yang within them. And the male humans on this planet were taught that they're not allowed to connect with that feminine energy, that it's wrong or bad. And if they don't connect with it, then they're going to have a limitation of their creations. So the more in tune you are with your, and in more in balance you are with your feminine energies, you're going to be able to create more. And the spirit wants to create. The spirit came to create. So the more you create, more you expand your consciousness. So for those people in a relationship, like a wife and husband, so if a wife is supportive or encourages the husband to connect more with their feminine energies, it's a really good time to do it. It's going to help propel them forward to create more and to find their happiness and that joy within themselves, connecting with their inner child. So really encouraging that and being supportive of that, so they're not afraid to show those feminine energies, because those feminine energies are coming up and they're coming out, and it's nice to have a supportive partner. So if you're in a relationship where it's 2 males, you'd both be doing it at the same time. If you're awakening together, you'd be connecting to those feminine energies and really encouraging each other in your creations, and not laughing or making fun if somebody has a new idea, just listening and being supportive. No matter what the idea is, even if it sounds, silly to you or it sounds different, it's St.Germain showing me just really important not to judge your partner, because what's going to happen is they'll shut down and they'll go back into like a withdrawal, and they won't be able to show who they are or what they came to do, or be able to create. They're going to shut down. So really encouraging that feminine energy to come out within the males that are in your life. Like this includes your brothers, your father, like just really encouraging them to tap into that energy, and not making it a judgment or a bad thing, like a judgment of good or bad. So there's some of you that are watching this that are coming to crossroads in your relationship, and this is the crossroad rune, and it's saying to go into your intuition. So St. Germain's showing me there's some people questioning their relationship, questioning their marriage, questioning whether I should be in this or not. And he said, you're going to find out by going in and asking your inner child and your higher self. So going into a meditation to find out what you want and what direction you want to go in. And then you have the wave rune over here, which is movement, or creating movement or creating waves in your relationship, or a connection to the spiritual world. Some things are going to feel out of your control in your relationship. You'll be overwhelmed, feeling insecure. So it's like when you're at these crossroads and you're having these waves come into your reality, into your relationship. He's saying to go in and check in with your intuition, which is this stone here, to balance those energies and find out what you really want. There's a lot of people that are awakening, that are watching this video, which it's all an alone journey. It's not something that your partner can fix or your partner can do with you. It has to be something individual. So even if you're in a relationship, he says, as you awaken, you're not going to ever be in the same vibration as your spouse, because your spouse is going to have their individual awakening. So you're never going to be at the same vibration in your spiritual journey, because the excitement for the spirit is to see what it's like to awaken by yourself and to find that love within yourself. So if your partner was on the same page or on the exact same vibrational frequency of that awakening that you are, then it wouldn't feel individual. And part of the spiritual awakening is to go to the deepest depths of the polarity of what we are. And when you're experiencing loneliness, that's going to the deepest depths of that loneliness. And even if you're in a relationship, you're still going to feel alone. That is normal for the spiritual awakening. So he wants you to know that those people that are in a relationship and that feel really alone, if you're going through a spiritual awakening right now, that's part of it. Myself and my husband, we went through it separately, and we both felt very alone, but even though we were together. So it's like standing in your truth for yourself and finding out what love that you want to give to yourself, that your spirit came here to do on planet Earth. Finding out what makes you happy, what your desires are, giving that love to your inner child is going to expand your consciousness. And then as your consciousness expands, that's going to reflect back to you in your relationship. So the more work I do on myself, the more love I receive from my husband, because I'm going in and giving that love to myself, and then it's showing up in my reality. But if I'm still seeking my husband to give me that love, I'm never going to find it, because the spiritual journey is to find it within yourself. And so your guides, your spirit guides and your higher self are not going to let you find it in somebody else. It's just not going to happen, because we're here to find that within ourselves. We're all awakening right now, and it's a beautiful journey. So even if you're feeling very alone in your relationship, St. Germain's saying to just to trust, to have faith, to go in, not without, to go in and find that love within yourself, and then it's going to start showing up in your reality. Always check in with your intuition and your higher self, asking your inner child who they want to play with. So if you're at these crossroads and you're wondering, should I stay in this relationship? Is this going to be good for me? Going in and asking your inner child who she wants to play with, or who he wants to play with. Does, you know, your life partner that you've chosen, is this somebody that your inner child wanted you to play with, or is it somebody that your parents told you that you had to date or you had to marry? If you're in like a certain nationality or ethnic group, that there's expectations of who you date and who you marry. He's saying it's time to go in and find out what you want instead of what people tell you to do. And so he's showing me that a lot of people that are in relationships, the first thing they did was they asked their friends and their family, what do you think of this guy? Or what do you think of this girl? Is this a good person for me to date? And so you asked outside of yourself instead of going in to find out whether this would be a good person to date. So when you're in a relationship, asking your higher self and your inner child, is this somebody you want to be with? Because your intuition knows whether that person's going to be a good match for you. There's a lot of matches out there. There's not just one soulmate, there's many. So if you're in a vibrational frequency of love and you're looking for a relationship, there's several people that are going to match that and come into your life at certain times in your life. So not being afraid to be alone or to find out what you need and to go in is what he's saying. So there's a lot of crossroads here for people that have been in long-term relationships, and they're questioning everything right now. So he's saying you'll find the answers by going into your heart, going into your inner child, and asking your higher self where they want to be, who they want to play with, what is going to be the best thing for them. So St. Germain's saying you're all worthy of being loved, and to find that love within yourself, and then it's going to show up in your relationship. Happy Valentine's Day. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Have a good night.